What you may know about me is that I've been coaching and mentoring for 20 years. I've worked with business leaders for 2 decades to help them reclaim their body, their energy, their presence, to help them clarify their purpose so they live in more alignment, peace, and passion. I've climbed the Great Wall of China. I've hiked to the top of Africa. I've cycled across the UK, which only led to a hit and run collision, fighting for my life. Left for dead on the side of the road. I've written multiple books, including a couple of bestsellers. Some of my books you can find on Amazon. I've spoken in 22 countries. I've represented the #1 most famous, most successful coach in the world, Tony Robbins, and the list goes on and on. That's my CV, if you want to call it that. But what you may not know about me is how I started and where I started. Over 20 years ago, I was living in London in the UK, and I was just getting back into fitness after going down the wrong direction. My passion is fitness. My #1 passion is fitness. If you follow me, you know that's very fucking clear. My other passion is music. These are 2 of my greatest passions, have always been, is right now, and will always be. So I started my life in fitness, and then at 18, 19, went into music. That took me from Cape Town, South Africa. Oh my God, that's so loud. It's okay, keep going, my love. It's just funny that it's loud. In real life. What's it called? Reality. So I went to the UK from Cape Town, South Africa, and I followed the music path. I went away from fitness and I just thought, you know what? I love music. When I left fitness growing up, I was a semi-professional cyclist and I was what's called a domestique. I never won races. I never came in the top 3. And I was a workhorse. And I rode for a team, but we didn't have a salary, but we had a team car, we had a team, we raced every weekend, we had sponsors, etc. And I didn't see myself. Now, I wish I knew what I knew now. No one coached me, no one mentored me. I didn't know how to train. I didn't understand VO2 max. I didn't understand how the body works. I didn't understand the power of mindset and visualization and setting goals. I would literally go into every race saying I'm going to do my best to stick with the winners. I immediately eliminated myself from being a winner by saying I'm going to try and stick with the winners. And try means permission to fail. Anyway, so I just thought, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be mega successful or even successful, even though it was a great passion of mine. So I followed my other passion, which was music. I happened to get a little bit of inheritance from my mother, from an uncle that she had. I went to audio engineering college. I became a DJ. I went to London. But unfortunately, it took me down the wrong path. You have DJs and producers that don't do anything bad, and then you have others that just become absolute hedonists. I became a hedonist. Party boy, terrible habits with women, drugs, alcohol. I was just heading in the wrong direction. And I didn't have any guidance, once again. No one took me under their wing ever in life. Up until this point at 23, I was figuring life out alone. And that's what it felt like for the first 23 fucking years of my life. And then I realized, I got on the plane on the first time ever on an airplane at 20 years old going to the UK, and every single decision that I made was my responsibility. So I got myself to where I was. I wasn't happy with where I was heading. And I was 23 looking back 10 years to when I was 13. And my father being a successful man, a wise man, an intelligent man, and a good man deep down. My father became very broken through his habits, through his mindset, through his environment, and not having the right tools or the toolbox to be able to thrive in life, never mind even thrive, to survive in life. And my father suffered for a long time internally, and decision by decision, he got his life wrong. And eventually, when I was 13 years old, my father took his life. Now I was 23, reflecting on that and thinking, man, I can see a lot of similarities between my father's life and how he was showing up and how I was showing up as this hedonist DJ, seeking attention and validation and acceptance and popularity and even fame. So I said, okay, this is not the direction for me, but if I can decision by decision get my life wrong, I want to figure out how to decision by decision get my life right. And I didn't want to be a coach, speaker, author, mentor, nothing. I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted to save myself. I knew that I was in trouble. I actually went to a friend and I said, when I went back from DJing in Riga, Latvia, I went to the UK and I said, man, I don't know what depressed is, but I think I might be depressed. And that's where my personal development journey started. Decision by decision, I started investing in myself, in changing my habits, changing my friend circles, changing my environments, changing my job. He said to me, what do you love? What outside of DJing do you love? Or outside of music? And the only thing I'd ever loved, like I shared before, was fitness. So I got a job in a gym, and I got a job as a salesperson, and I started working on myself whilst in sales. I started studying psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, coaching, personal development, self-enrichment, personal growth. I started reading loads of books. And over the next 2 years, I completely changed. I completely transformed. I became confident, convicted, certain, clear. I started setting goals for my life. I became healthy, fit, happy, at peace with myself. Not in a conflict, because my outer success didn't match how I was feeling on the inside. And that was another reflection that, hey, this was my father. My father had set records in his careers for what he had achieved at his age, etc. And it was outer success, not inner success. And I was the same, outer success, not inner success. Now I started matching my outer success and how I was showing up in the gym. I became one of the top performing salespeople for this company. And my inner success, I was happy, I was excited, I was enthusiastic, I was fucking loving life again. And then in this gym, I got offered a new flagship gym, and as the highest performing salespeople, I mean, gym is a sales business. As the highest performing salesperson, they said, if you hadn't been here so little time, we would have given you the next gym. We would have made you GM, general manager in your 20s. You would have been on a £35,000 salary, which as a boy from Cape Town, South Africa, for me was, I mean, that's $750,000 rand. That's 700,000 rand or something like that. And I was like, wow. But you know what? They gave me a pat on the back to say, not this time, next time. But based on your results and your energy and who you are and how you show up at work, we just want to let you know that we see you. And I thought, okay, that's amazing. Wow, how life can turn around. And that was because of the person that I became. The person that you become will result in the opportunities that present themselves. The person you become will result in the opportunities that present themselves. But there's a big difference between an opportunity and an opportunity for you. When you know who the fuck you are, you know what you want to stand for, you know the vision for your life, you know your goals, you know who you want to become, you can start to say no to things that look great, but they're not in alignment with your truth, your values, your identity, your goals. Your values, your mission, your values, your vision, your mission, your purpose. And I thought, okay, that's really amazing, but you know what? I don't want to be a manager of a gym. That's not my life path. But at this time, I was starting to have a real impact and influence on people around me. I was inspiring people with my attitude and my energy. And I thought, you know what? I know a lot already. I know I can't take my father's life back. But imagine, I remember thinking this so clearly. I thought, imagine if I just did this. I just kept learning how to be better, how to live your best life, how to be more fulfilled, how to be happier, how to be healthier, how to be fitter, how to live more of your full potential, how to get the most out of yourself. Imagine if I just do the thing that I am most passionate about. Imagine if I just commit and invest my life in solving the problem, in teaching others how I've been solving the problem in my life, how not to suffer and how to thrive in life. Imagine if I just did that for the rest of my life. Oh my God. I remember thinking, oh my God, I would never work again, ever. I'm just taking the thing that I'm trying to solve, taking the thing that I'm most passionate about, living my greatest life, sharing what I know, and being paid for it. And I thought, I can't take my father's life back, but imagine how many people I can help with this commitment and this passion. And that is all I've done since. And that is the reason why I've started. And I've gone in many different directions. I've had different products and services. I've changed how I do, what I do, who I do it for. But in the last few years, I've really got a lot of clarity around why I started in the first place. And I've really done what's called a hero's journey, and I've come back home to where I started. And that's to help people that, like myself at a very young age, was very successful. I was a full-time DJ. I was earning hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars a night for just playing music. I had attention from guys, attention from girls. I was working 4 hours, 3 to 4 nights a week. I was living the dream, but inside I was fucking broken because I wasn't aligned to what mattered to me. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't fit. I wasn't a person of values and morals. I didn't have a clear, compelling, and inspirational vision for my life. I was just, every day was like a means to an end. And that's why I started partying too much, because I was successful but unfulfilled. Many years later, I have now worked with hundreds of business owners, founders, entrepreneurs, business leaders, executives that are successful but not fulfilled. That doesn't mean they're not happy. They could be not happy, but it just means that they know something is missing and that they can be more, do more, have more, they can perform at a higher level, they can keep being successful, but without it coming at a cost and with consequences. They want to be successful and keep being successful. They want to be more successful, but without it costing them their relationships, without it costing them their peace, their presence, their energy, without it costing them good quality sleep, without it costing them good habits and a healthy lifestyle and a healthy way of living. And I've been doing that ever since, and I'm so incredibly passionate about that. And for the last, let's say, 8 years, I built my career working privately one-to-one. And in the last 8, 9 years, maybe, I'd have to go back and really look at exactly when it was, but let's say 8 or 9 years ago, I went from one-to-one to one-to-few. I do one-to-many all over the world, speaking to big audiences, speaking to small groups, online, sales teams, companies. Sometimes I speak to other people's communities. Next Monday, I'm speaking to a community under a leader that's a coach in the UK, and I'm speaking to his people from my perspective and from my experience. But one-to-few in a group I've been doing for almost a decade now. And I really love this because it adds energy and it adds accountability rather than just doing it alone with someone. Obviously, that's very powerful. That's why people pay me a lot of money, because every single thing we say is about them. Every question I ask is tailored to them. And I've got 20 years of experience of knowing exactly the question to ask to get the best out of my clients. But in a small group, I can still do the same. Ask the best questions, ask the right questions, hold them accountable, as long as the group is not too big. So right now I have a container called Live 100. It's a 3-month transformational container where we focus on creating a new identity over 3 months, an identity that you're proud of, an identity where you have more or a better body, more energy, more presence. You have more personal power because you're more aligned through daily habits that actually are serving the best version of yourself. and it's only for business owners. It's application only. Why? Because I know how business owners think. From when my father was around me, seeing someone that is successful but not fulfilled, successful but not at peace, successful but not present, full on the outside, empty on the inside, this was my fucking childhood. Like, I know this better than anyone. And then I went through my own life experience of experiencing the same, so I could have more evidence and experience as to what it is like to live this way. I know how these people think. I know what makes them tick. I know what motivates them. And also, I know at that level of leadership, most people are a yes man to you. A yes man or a yes man or a yes man. They do whatever you want them to do. They say whatever you want them to say. Why? Because you're the boss. You're the boss of your family. You're the boss of your team. You're the boss of your business. Whereas I don't give a fuck. When my clients work with me, I tell them the truth. And people pay me a lot of money for truth. I have told clients that you look shit in your suit. You should wear a better suit. This was a high-level partner at a company that has hundreds of thousands of employees around the world. I'm not going to say the company. I had another client that had let's say a $5 or $7 million business, a millionaire on paper in his 30s. And when he pitched himself to me and reached out to me wanting to work with me, I got back to him with a video message and I said, look, clearly you're very successful, but no one should be as fucking fat as you. That's not successful. You're successful on paper, but something's missing, man. Your health can't be great. Your fitness definitely isn't great. And if you've neglected yourself, 100% I know you're neglecting your family and the people that you say you're doing all of this for. The other day, I had a client that told me, I'm really busy at work right now. I'm just not able to fit in time for my workouts and for my meditation. And I said, bullshit. I said, how can you tell me as a business owner, a successful business owner, you can't even use the fact that you're in the trenches or you're starting out and you're just struggling? No, a successful business owner. I said, your life revolves around scheduling. Everything in your life and your business life is scheduled. So you cannot convince me as the owner, the founder, the decision maker, the rule setter that you cannot schedule time for yourself. And I've been this radically honest with clients over the years, many, many times. And a lot of the times how they reply is with the words, thank you. And why are they just saying thank you? Because they appreciate the truth. And also, they don't need to give me a whole fucking story that they're romanticizing as to, romanticizing about why they can't do this. They've just never had someone be that honest with them. And they realize that, man, I can't give this guy bullshit stories. JP has a BS detector. He will detect your bullshit. And all they can say back is thank you. As in, thank you. I needed to hear that. And I just got off a session with this client. And he said, man, the day you said that to me, it was last week. He said, the day you said that to me, that opened my eyes. And that same day, I scheduled in going to the gym. So my clients pay me for truth. My program, the next time we run it every quarter, right? So there's 3 more quarters left in the year. Q2 starts on the 5th of April. It's for business leaders and business owners only. It's by application only. That's not a bullshit statement. If you inquire about it, you have to go through a 13-question application form. And after that, if we feel that you are perfect for this container to be locked in with myself, my team, and the other people in Live 100 for 3 months from the beginning of April to the end of June, then we will be in touch with you. We'll be in touch with you either way to let you know whether you're in or whether you're out. And then we'll be in touch with you if you're in to book a call. And that call will be with me. And then we will sit and get real clear on What do you want to get out of this? This is not a program. This is not a course. This is not coaching. This is a results-focused container where I am the coach, the mentor, the leader, the facilitator, the truth teller, and my success is your success. The goal is to build a new identity, a greater version of yourself over 90 days, focusing on 10 habits that we ask, assess, and adjust, over 12 weeks, focusing on new content or a new focus that I bring every single week, every Monday in our live call that you can also get the recording for if you can't make it live. Every Friday we meet live again, or you can watch the recording again where we go through, we cover integration, we have a conversation, we have Q&As, where you can ask me anything that you want, where we go through your habits, we go through your values, your vision, your mission, your purpose. We discuss things in detail like sleep performance, fasting, the power of fasting, the importance of measuring your fuel, your macronutrients, understanding your protein numbers, your fat numbers, your carbohydrate numbers. We talk about the power and influence of verbal persuasion, otherwise known as self-talk, the science behind affirmations, and so much more. I run this 4 times a year. 1 is already gone. 3 are left. It's only for a maximum of 25 people. I think we have 7 spaces left for April. If you want to be a part of this, if you feel like you are successful on the outside, but something is missing on the inside, if you feel like you're in too much pressure and you want more peace, if you feel like you are performing from a place of fear and not from love, then make sure that you apply for Live 100. Once again, if you are a business owner and if you are fully committed to living 100%, that's why it's called Live 100. You are not a storyteller that wants to tell me about why your life is so tough. You are ready to take ownership. You're ready to take or to have personal responsibility for where you are, and you're ready to commit to making changes. I got you. Apply for Live 100, and I hope to see you inside. Once we get your application, we will go through it and we will be in touch with you, hopefully to book a call, and then we'll get you set up to start on the 5th of April with the rest of the business leaders and the business owners inside Live 100.